What's up, guys? Welcome back to CZitoMusic. Cal here. Earlier this month, Nick Broomhall hosted his 2025 Thick Riff Thursday riff contest, which I participated in. In my entry, I used an updated rhythm guitar tone and changed my recording process, which I wanted to share with you guys. My easiest way to get a nasty modern metal tone video received amazing feedback, and I'm glad you all found value in that video. In case you missed that one and want to check it out, I'll leave the link to it down in the description. So in this video, I'll be showing you how to make your rhythm guitars sound massive and thick, and show you that anyone with a decent guitar plugin and stock VSTs can sound good right at home. Just to give you some context, here was my entry to the Thick Riff Thursday 2025 riff contest and what my tone sounds like in a full mix. So that was my submission, and I was very proud of how the production quality turned out. Also, I've been much more active posting on my Instagram account, so if you're not following me on there, definitely give me a follow. I'll leave a link to that down in the description. All right, let's open up the project and get right into it. I'll start us off by showing you the left tracked guitar rhythm tone. The right track guitar rhythm tone is also the exact same settings. I'm still using the Fortin Nameless X as my main rhythm guitar tone, but the new preset I'm using is On the Verge by Buster Aldahome. Right here. I'm a huge fan of Buster, both his production techniques and the bands he's in. Especially Throne, I've been a huge fan of that band ever since they came out. I've also learned so much production techniques through Buster on YouTube. This tone has a lot of bottom end, as I know Buster is known for having heavy aggressive tones with a lot of bass in the mix. So in this preset, I made no changes to the pedals, the amp, the cab, or the EQ. So everything is in its stock form. Next in my chain is Reaper EQ. On band 1, I'm using a high pass with the frequency at 82.2, the gain at 0, and the bandwidth at 2.00. On band 2, I'm using band at 416.3 hertz for the frequency, the gain is at 3.2, and the bandwidth is a little curved at 0.53. Band 3, again, I'm using band with the frequency at 2017.1 hertz. The gain is dropped at negative 2.1, and the curve is at 0.25. That's our bandwidth. Lastly, on band 4, I'm using a low pass with the frequency at 9595.5 hertz. The gain is all the way down at 0. It says inf here, but it's basically turned off. And the bandwidth is at 2.00. This EQ setting takes away a bit of the low end while taking off a bit of those unwanted high frequencies while boosting the 400 hertz area and taking off a little bit of the 2K area. After the Reaper EQ, I have Reaper compressor, and here I'm just using the stock preset of distorted electric guitar. Next up, I have the quad guitar left track. The quad guitar right track also has the exact same settings as well. So for this riff, I quad tracked guitars to make them sound thicker, wider, and get an overall massive sound. So for both these quad guitar tracks, I turned down the volume to negative 24 to keep it hidden in the mix. It's very subtle, but it adds a massive impact to the guitars. So this track is very similar to the main rhythm guitars. I'm using the On the Verge preset again. I made no changes to the settings, but the only change I did make was turning off the grind pedal. By doing this, you're giving less distortion and creating more of a textural guitar layer. This adds an aggressive bite to the overall tone. Next in the chain is the Reaper EQ. For band 1, I'm using a high pass with the frequency at 129.8. The gain is at 0.0 and the bandwidth is at 2.00. For band 2, I'm using a band at 416.3 Hertz for the frequency. The gain is at 3.2 and the bandwidth is at 0.53. For the third band, again, I'm using a band with the frequency at 2017.1 Hertz. The gain is at negative 2.1 dB and the bandwidth is at 0.25. And lastly, I'm using a low pass on band 4 with the frequency at 10,514.2 Hertz. The gain taken off and the bandwidth at 2.00. The last VST in my chain is the Reaper compressor, and again, I'm using the distorted electric guitar preset. Again, all very similar settings to my main rhythm guitars with subtle variations. Once I finish tracking and editing all the instruments, I have a master template I use to make the track louder, and I do this with all my guitar lessons, covers, riffs, and original songs. After I export my project, I added in this template. Here's the signal chain to the master track. For the EQ, I can't remember the exact settings I used, but from what I do remember, I used a high pass on band 1 with these settings, and I used a low pass on band 4 with these settings. For band 2, I used band with the frequency at around 460.1 Hertz. The gain was taken down between, I want to say, negative 2.5 to negative 3.0 with a narrow bandwidth at around 0.30. And for band 3, I used band in between the 3 to 5K area and boosting the gain at around 2.5 or around 3.0 with a wider bandwidth at around 0.50 to around 0.55. Next in the chain, I have the Reaper X compressor. Here I'm using the Mastering 3 band preset. No changes were made to this preset. After that, I have JST clip. Now, JST clip was turned off for this session as I don't use this VST as much as I used to anymore, but it's there if I need it. And lastly, I have a master limiter. I usually keep the settings the same, but the only setting I do change in this plugin is the threshold depending on the project. I usually keep the threshold between negative 5.5 to negative 5.0, again, depending on the project and depending on the session. I don't go higher than that anymore because I feel like the higher you go, the more distorted your track will get. So after I finish all of that, I usually listen to it many times, make any necessary changes if I have to. Once I'm done that process, I export the final track. This is my recording process. It's a lot of stock plugins and presets and using your ear to fine-tune the tones. Always remember to use your judgment when using an EQ, as different tones and presets will have a different outcome depending on what settings you use. It's a lot of trial and error, but with a lot of practice, you'll get the hang of it. So I hope this video gives you a starting point and a foundation when it comes to recording, mixing, and mastering your own tracks. And I hope you gain some knowledge and insight you can use for your own projects. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more guitar and music related content. And I'll see you all in the next video.